Thank you guys for attending. This is the From the Leopard Lounge to the Office Applying Sage Future Takeaways webinar. Want to introduce myself. I am Tiffany Campbell. With me, I have Adrian Montgomery as well. We are with ERP VAR, and along with us today, we have Service Trade, VersaPay, NetStop, Sepulti, Starship, Deptiva, Avalara, and Dynamic Budget. So at Sage Future, one message that came through clearly was finance teams are no longer just recording history. They're actively shaping business outcomes using connected, intelligent systems. Three areas that came out of the show that we want to focus on today are intelligent revenue and cash flow, operational intelligence, and trust in government. So we're going to start today with intelligent revenue and cash flow. So automation is only valuable when it improves decision quality. So we have VersaPay, Sepulti, DataRails, and Dynamic Budget that are going to discuss AR acceleration, AP automation, cash forecasting, scenario planning, and AI-driven working capital management. So we're going to start today with VersaPay, spotlighting their solution. So VersaPay, I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself and go through your presentation.
I appreciate you all letting me join. My name is Tobias. I'm an account executive here at VersaPay. We do pretty much three simple things: AR automation, cash application, and payment processing. And we integrate with Sage Intacct along with all the other Sage products. How do I click the next slide here? Okay, awesome. So our three main products are ERP payments for Sage Intacct, and the next slide will be cash application and collaborative AR. But with ERP payments for Sage Intacct, kind of four main things we do: click to pay links, allow your customers to get an invoice from you as a company, and they can click right on it, a click to pay link in the email, and go in and pay that invoice. You get automated reconciliation with VersaPay, so any payments being made inside of our platform will then automatically reconcile inside of Sage Intacct. A couple other options we have is a customer portal where your customers can use an email and password and log on and see all of their open invoices and make payments. You can set up auto pay in there. You can do prepayments. We also have a backend portal, which we call an admin portal. It allows you to see all of your open invoices, all of your open AR, customer details, and obviously send out managed dunning notifications as well to get help with that. And then last thing we have on this list for ERP payments is like literally processing payments inside of Intacct through a virtual terminal. So if you have customers paying you all over the phone or in some other way in person, you can process that credit card live. Next slide, please. And that was our kind of plug and play product, ERP payments for Intacct. This is our kind of enterprise product if you want a lot more customization and different things you want to do with your customers. To the left image, you'll see a client admin portal. This is like your back-end area. You can see there's a dashboard there. So the goal is to try to get you all out of spreadsheets and give you like a real live look into your open AR, who's paid you, who hasn't paid you, predicted payment dates, and things of that nature. And the name of the product is Collaborative AR. So essentially is a collaborative space. So on the right side, you'll see the customer portal option there. And inside of there, they can go in, customers can go in, make payments. They can leave notes on different payments if they were to short pay for whatever reason. Again, they can manage auto pay and do a bunch of different other things in there. Again, very similar to our ERP payments for Intacct, but this has a lot more customization you can do with it as far as the dunning notifications go. And last solution we have is our cash application solution. And this is like an AI-powered automation software that allows you to match payments to invoices, but it's for physical checks, wires, ACH is being pushed to you, pretty much any payments made outside of like the VersaPay platform. Comes out of the box with about an 85% match rate. The other 15%, it trains itself over time to get up into the 90s. And again, just the AI-powered cash matching solution for those companies still receiving physical checks, maybe working through a lockbox. We're just trying to find faster ways to match payments so they're not doing a bunch of reconciliations this time of the month. And that's all I have. Tobias with VersaPay.
Thank you. And now we want to introduce Sepulti. Sepulti, I'll have you join and introduce yourself
Perfect, thanks. Okay, hello everyone. My name's Kim Lombard. I'm a Senior Alliance Manager here with Chipotle, and really happy to be here today. I'm going to jump right in. Who is Chipotle? So Chipotle is an end-to-end finance automation platform that really helps organizations streamline their accounts payable, procurement, vendor onboarding, and supplier management, as well as domestic and global payments, expenses, and cards. And that's all within one connected platform. We are also a Sage Intacct Marketplace Tech Partner Plus. So we are one of the highly recommended add-on solutions. And as a licensed money transmitter, we support and execute payments in 196 countries and 120 different currencies. So really at the end of the day, our goal is to help finance teams eliminate manual work, improve visibility and controls, and just be able to scale a little bit more efficiently. So why do companies love Chipotle? What we hear most frequently is from those finance teams is that they're still dealing with too many disconnected and manual processes. So things like approval bottlenecks and vendor onboarding headaches, payment inefficiencies, and really limited visibility. So Chipotle will help centralize and automate those workflows by bringing invoice capture, approvals, and reconciliation, again, all together. The result is really a stronger efficiency, better controls, and a much more scalable finance operations. So organizations use Chipotle to, again, automate that repetitive work, those manual processes, improve auditability and payment security, and support both the domestic and global operations without adding any unnecessary overhead or headcount. So the next step would be simply to set up a discovery call so that we can find out what your workflows look like and if we're going to be a good fit. And from there, we would do, next step would be a live demo.
And now I'll pass it over to Dynamic Budgets.
Hi, everyone. My name is Zubin Gidwani, founder of Dynamic Budgets. And what we have is a detailed budgeting solution, trying to make it easy for your staff, non-technical, non-financial, incredibly gifted at breaking Excel. If that sounds all familiar, we've got a solution that incorporates them, brings them into the fold, has them input their detailed budgets into the software, gives them the opportunity to compare their budget to actual, run a variance analysis report on a monthly basis in the budgeting software. It also has a fair amount of reporting capabilities. They can take notes and explain why they were over under each month, and then use that information when they go into their next reforecast or back into their next annual plan. So really trying to promote continuous improvement, engagement, and involving all of your managers in the process, trying to keep it a simple solution so they can participate and then they can feel like they can take ownership of the process. We don't want this to be interpreted as corporate's numbers that were out of date by the time that the board approved the plan and was irrelevant, and I'm being held to this unattainable standard. We want them to feel like they input these line item details and it's their details that they're being held accountable for. Next slide. What we have is basically an interface here in the upper half of the screen. They would be inputting the line item details for their accounts. So in this example, we brought up, for I think this was ideally supposed to be a rent expense where you might input rent, CAM, security, floor 1 and floor 2 of the office space that we're renting, that type of details in the upper half of this data entry screen. The lower half is showing the history of the account, prior year actuals, prior year budgets. So there's blue underlined account numbers where they can click into that and actually drill down into the transaction details coming right out of Intacct. And if you're using an AP management system like Ramp or something like that, you could actually click in and either go to the Sage transaction details if you're a Sage user, or if you were, say, a Ramp user, you'd be able to drill down and see a copy of the invoice. Trying to make it really easy, trying to present all this information to the end users. And one of the key points of differentiation, we have an unlimited user license. The user does not need to be a Sage user, doesn't We don't charge per users. It's just one flat fee for the size of the organization. Next slide. We had some announcements about a new product offering from Sage Intacct called Data Cloud. And it is an expensive solution for those that have very heavy, deep data warehousing requirements and things like that going through Snowflake. Just if you're a sophisticated, large customer with deep pockets, great offering from Sage Intacct. But for the rest of us that want to get involved in more advanced reporting, want to get our data out and replicated from Intacct, if you might be concerned about disaster recovery and having a backup copy of your data off-site, we're launching a product called Parallel Dimensions. And basically it allows you to connect to Sage Intacct, and then you could have multiple destinations. So you might send your data up to Amazon for your primary reporting warehouse. You might have a on-premise test or sandbox for your developers to play with. And maybe you've got long-term disaster recovery out on Microsoft Azure. You can have one or multiple routes established and copy as many of the tables of information from Intacct and replicate those out. So if you're interested in the second product that we have from Dynamic Budgets called Parallel Dimensions, please let us know after the call. Thanks very much. Back to you, Tiffany.
Okay, and our next area is operational intelligence. So operational data is becoming financial strategy data. So in this, we're going to be talking about inventory optimization, supply chain visibility, fulfillment intelligence, and service profitability. So we're going to have NetStuck, Starship, and Service Trade highlight their solutions. So we're going to go ahead and start off with NetStuck.
Great, thank you very much. My name is Vaughan Proctor. I am from NetStuck, and we've been in partnership with Sage since 2012. We have a Sage white label product called Inventory Advisor, and we connect to all the Sage products except Sage Intacct, actually, because typically more around inventory planning and inventory holding, and most of the Intacct customers are more financial. I know that they have released Sage Operations for Intacct, so we'll be looking at perhaps in future integrating with that as that moves along. Right, so what do we do? It's supply and demand planning. The best way to explain it really is that Sage ERP will tell you what you have, NetStuck will tell you what you should have, and compare those two and try and get you to an optimal inventory level. With most businesses, the issues are that inventory, there's either too much, too little, or you're getting to it too late. 38% of our customers and research that we've done say that they're sitting with excess and tying up cash. 10% say that they are losing revenue to lost sales and perhaps also losing customers because of that. And 56% say that they struggle to plan for the future and figure out what's going on and just spend their time putting out fires as things happen. If any of those type of things relate to you, usually all of those things are issues in an inventory business. Those are the type of things that we're trying to solve for. Thanks, Tiffany. Right, what's the ROI of getting it right? This is a Sage customer that used NetStuck. I think this was a Sage 100 customer. They dropped their inventory by 52% and excess stock by 80% in 17 months, which is pretty incredible. Now, obviously, it depends from business to business. These guys obviously had a big issue with excess, and we helped them a lot with that. But guaranteed at the same time, we improved fill rates and availability to customers and increased sales and profitability in the business as well. But what's most interesting for us is really the fact that there was better job satisfaction. One of the big things about what we do is the time saving in the forecasting and planning, demand planning functionalities, automatically classifying items, automatically forecasting items, automatically calculating min-max levels and reorder points without having to input that into the ERP or in a spreadsheet, and automatically creating recommended orders at a push of a button that can then be imported back into Sage to close the loop between our calculations and actually sending out those purchase orders or work orders for manufacturing or transfers for interbranch transfers. Right, so this is on average the type of ROI that we can get out of an application like ours. Like I said, there might be differing percentages depending on the state of the business, but that there will be improvement in all parts of the planning process. 50% increase in forecasting, and it always starts with the planning. The better we can predict what it is that you're going to sell in the future, the better we can plan against that. 70% reduction in time, taking all the time that it takes to forecast and spreadsheets, calculate min-max levels, create purchase orders, all of that stuff is done automatically. And then because of that, on average, a 25% reduction in inventory holding, which means more bigger cash flow, less costs at inventory holding costs and insurance and all that type of stuff. And at the same time, improved fill rates, better stock turns, and higher profitability in the business. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And next we have Starship.
Hi there, my name is Michelle Hall. I am the marketing specialist over at V Technologies with Starship. So for more than 35 years, V Technologies has focused on building integrated shipping solutions that connect directly with ERP, accounting, and e-commerce platforms. Over time, we've expanded to support more than a dozen ERP systems, along with more than 30 parcel, LTL, and 3PL carrier integrations. In the Sage space, we integrate with Sage 100, 300, 500, and Sage X3. We're currently also looking into the possibility of development for Sage Intacct as well. The goal behind Starship is pretty simple. We're here to help businesses ship smarter by automating and simplifying their shipping processes. So instead of relying on manual tasks and disconnected systems, Starship helps save time, reduce errors, control shipping costs, and create a better experience for their customers. Alrighty, so as businesses grow, shipping often becomes more complicated and harder to manage. So these are some of the common challenges that we hear over and over again from prospective customers as they start to outgrow their current shipping process. So when it comes to disconnected systems, we hear teams are jumping between Sage, multiple carrier websites, and even logging data on spreadsheets manually just to complete their shipping process. We solve that by connecting with Sage and Starship together to create a centralized workflow. Another issue is managing multiple carrier portals. So instead of using multiple carrier portals where you're rate shopping between UPS, FedEx, or your LTL carriers, this slows down operations and making the processes also inconsistent. Starship brings your carriers all together into a single interface so that you can rate shop all of your carriers in one place. With manual data entry, that's also a major pain point where rekeying order and shipment information increases the risk of costly mistakes. Starship helps eliminate manual data entry by automatically pulling your shipping data directly from Sage, so you can process your shipments within Starship, and then we write back all of your shipping data back into Sage as well for you, so that you're not having to copy paste or manually write back any of your shipping information. It's done automatically through the process. Shipping cost control can also be difficult without visibility into rates and carrier options. So Starship gives businesses access to rate shopping and shipment visibility to help control costs and make better shipping decisions. Users can even set rules on Starship where you could select the best carrier automatically based on certain rules that you specify within the program. And finally, Starship is able to automatically send tracking information when a shipment is processed to help improve communication overall for the customer experience. All right, so some things that we're looking into and we are actively currently developing within Starship. As we know, AI is a major trend right now in the industry. It's being discussed everywhere. So we have developed AI chat and AI agents to help further enhance the shipping experience for your operations and front office teams. We're hoping to outroll this at some point this summer. It is actively in development and in the testing phase. So we are also developing support agents to help customers with solving their support cases. So after a customer submits a case through our customer portal, an AI agent will be able to help reduce wait times for certain cases by assisting customers with resolutions based on our Starship knowledge database, as well as case data from historical case data from other Starship customers. This is not replacing our support team by any means. This is just to be a resource to help streamline cases that are basic cases that can have easy case resolution, and those that are more of in-depth cases, we of course still have our on-site support team to help our customers out there. So on the right-hand side of the screen, you can see an example that shows a chat window where users asking about top shipping volumes for their customers. The chat agent is able to look through the shipping data within seconds and return an answer for the user. Though Starship also does have dashboards and reporting that a user can find this information in, the chat is used to help significantly reduce time by getting an answer within seconds, as opposed to taking several minutes for a user to just do it on their own. We can go to the next slide there. Right, and here's another couple examples here. So you can also explore like top carriers, volume for a specific month. As you can see on the chat window on the left, after returning this information, you see the user was also able to ask for a more detailed breakdown by week. So it's not just a basic one and done question for the agent. The AI agent is able to help build upon the existing conversation that they are currently having. And then on the right-hand side, there's another chat window where the user is able to ask for tracking information for a specific shipment. And the AI agent was also able to return additional shipping data for that shipment. So the user is able to also reference items such as the carrier that was used, ship date, ETA, shipping address, weight, number of packages, etc. So it's able to also give you other shipping information that may be pertaining to that shipment. And that's it there. And here is our contact information as well. And I'm sure they'll also provide it at the end of our presentation for you. But if you're interested in automating your shipping process with Starship, here's our information for you.
Awesome. Thank you, Tiffany. So hi, everyone. My name is Andrew Neal. I am the Senior Strategic Partnerships Director over here at Service Trade. And I think one of the biggest themes that we kept hearing at Sage Future was this idea that AI and automation are only valuable if they actually remove operational friction and create measurable business outcomes. And in the commercial contracting space specifically, that friction is really everywhere. Most contractors today are dealing with disconnected workflows between the office, the field, their accounting ERP, and technicians can't easily access service history out in the field. Deficiencies don't get quoted fast enough, and dispatching is reactive instead of optimized. And finance teams are stuck chasing these invoices instead of driving growth. And that's really the operational bottleneck that we focus on solving here at Service Trade. Service Trade is a field service management platform built specifically for commercial contractors across HVAC, fire and life safety, refrigeration, electrical, and mechanical service businesses. Today, we support over 1,000 commercial contractors managing more than 48 million tracked assets and analyze over 17 million service and deficiency events. We also have integrations for Sage 100, Sage 300, as well as Sage Intacct. But the bigger takeaway from Sage Future is that customers are no longer looking for just another tool. They're really looking for operational visibility, and they want systems that ultimately connect operations, those customer interactions, and the accounting ERP data all into one workflow, because that's ultimately where AI becomes really useful. One of the concepts that we discussed a lot also while we were at the event was moving from disconnected systems to what we here at Service Trade call the service flywheel. And that idea is really simple. Every operational workflow should continuously feed the next revenue opportunity. So instead of services, being a cost center, it becomes a growth engine. For example, a technician identifies a deficiency out in the field. That immediately flows into a quote. That quote gets tracked and followed up with automatically. Approved work gets scheduled intelligently, and that work is documented in real time. Then invoicing, renewals, and future service opportunities are all connected back into the ERP accounting system. That closed loop visibility is where contractors see huge gains in efficiency and customer retention. And honestly, that aligns directly with what we've heard throughout Sage Future. Customers don't just want AI for the sake of AI. They want really automation that improves decision-making, speeds up workflows, and increases profitability. And so that's why we've introduced Stella. Stella is our AI-focused agentic platform that focuses on operational bottlenecks inside the commercial service organization. What's interesting is that the conversation around AI has matured significantly over the last year. Last year and at previous conferences, AI discussions were mostly theoretical. This year, customers were asking much more practical questions. How do I reduce technician downtime? How do I improve quote turnaround? How do I optimize my dispatching? How do I increase revenue without actually adding headcount? And that's really the real opportunity here. For contractors specifically, AI becomes valuable when it helps turn quotes around faster, increase that technician utilization, reduce windshield time, and drive more pull-through revenue from identified deficiencies. And I think that's where the accounting ERP ecosystem is ultimately heading overall. Less about standalone systems, more about that connected operational intelligence across that entire customer lifecycle. So if there's one major takeaway from Sage Future, I think it's this. Winners over the next few years are going to be the organizations that combine ERP data, field operations, automation, and AI into one connected operational strategy. That's where we believe the market is heading, and we're excited to continue partnering across the Sage ecosystem to help contractors get there. Thank you.
Thank you guys for your time. Brian Gavin, one of the Sage consultants here at Avalara. So what we do, we are Sage Sales and Consumer Use Tax Compliance and Automation. We integrate directly with Sage 50, 100, 300, 500, Intact X3. And some of the main reasons you'll see up on the screen here of why customers will come to Avalara, it's truly complexity of sales tax. A lot of the common triggers is just managing growth, a lot of changes, whether we're changing something with the business model or adding e-com. One of the main reasons that we get a lot of our customers coming to us is for Nexus concerns, because Nexus is extremely complex, whether that's physical Nexus or economic Nexus. Also, with all tax law changes, or if a business has had an audit. When I started Avalara about 5 years ago, Nexus was still a very big concern from customers, and here we are 8 years later. And Nexus is a very big concern for a lot of customers on just creating Nexus in other states. It's very complex to track. Once businesses are really starting to sell into multiple states and cross state lines or selling online, it starts to get really time consuming when you've got to, learn about all these other states, learn how to file in the states, making sure you're uploading tax tables. It gets very, very complex. Prior to Avalara, I was with ADP for 15 years. The reason why I bring that up is it was an easy transition for me. I like to use it as an analogy. A lot of people are very familiar with a payroll company and how they outsource. They make sure that you're registered everywhere that you need to be. They make sure you're compliant in collecting any documents that you need to have for any audit purposes. And then by being tied into everything, they're able to file and remit your returns and take the liability. We are like an ADP of sales tax. Whenever we have discovery calls with our customers, we take it into 2 parts. And this is what separates us from the competition. We do it into compliance and automation. So as you'll see on the next slide is where we really start to dig into Nexus. And we really will check with a company in the beginning of the process if they have any compliance gaps. And then we kind of move to automation. But Avalara truly has a whole compliance division that can clean up any compliance gaps that you might have once we uncover that in the beginning. So we do those processes simultaneously. On this screen here with Nexus, I'll just explain truly what our process looks like. So Avalara does courtesy risk assessments, also known as Nexus studies, where most CPAs and accounting firms will charge upside of $5,000 for doing a risk assessment or a Nexus study. No strings attached. We do them as a true courtesy. And with that said, it's kind of Vegas rules too. When those results come back and show that your business is out of compliance in certain states, those results don't get posted anywhere. They're for your eyes only. And what you decide to do from that is a true business decision. And we can help support you with that, because not only are we giving you the courtesy risk assessment in the Nexus study, but we also do a debrief with our tax director that's going to walk you through the findings, really identify specifics about your business on why you're out of compliance, make recommendations. And again, like I mentioned, how we are a compliance company as well, we can help do registrations or possible voluntary disclosures if needed. So I always like to say that the Nexus study is kind of a no-brainer, because it truly is a temperature check and a gauge to make the decision, should I be looking at Avalara and outsourcing now or not? Because typically when these risk assessments come back, there's about 3 to 5 states every time when a business takes this that they're out of compliance with, and that'll help make the decision whether or not you should outsource versus having to add more to your plate in-house doing it manually. As we talked a lot at Sage Future, this is our AI bot, Avi, which has been super, super helpful with our customers and really bringing AI into the back office. And honestly, we've been leveraging AI with our automation, and it's really been helping our customers identify any missing tax on invoices, flag incorrect tax treatment, helping classify products and transactions. As many of you know, just services and products and identifying what's taxable in what states and not. Our AI tool has been really supportive and helping with that. And this is really helping you and your accounting teams do less scrubbing of state websites, less time sitting on hold talking to states. And when you get the person on the line, you're not sure if that was the right answer or not, just like ChatGPT and Google when you're searching about sales and use tax and crossing your fingers you got it right. This is tied into our tax research tool, so we truly become your truth for everything sales and use tax. And then lastly, truly talking about the automation piece, where we integrate directly into Sage. And again, like I mentioned, we can integrate directly into Sage 50, 100, Intact, X3, and 300 and 500. So we've got the pre-built integration. It replaces the native function of Sage with Avatax. So real time, you are tied in, and we are making sure that we're giving you tax determinations and calculations real time with all laws updated and any tax law changes. More importantly, what we like to call is the middle software, especially for my Sage customers, is ECM, our exemption certificate management. That's a really big win with Sage customers, considering that a lot of businesses are doing it manually and have it in file cabinets, collecting certificates, and just in shared files, where one of the big education points that we have with our customers is about 65% of states consider exempt sales a part of Nexus thresholds. So with that said, being tied into everything, we are able to file and remit all the returns as well. So I thank everyone for their time, and hopefully you can reach out and we can have further discussion.
Well, so my name's Ashley. I'm an account executive and I manage partnerships here at GoToMyERP. Today I wanted to introduce Zaptiva, which is our new product, and explain why it matters in today's operational environment. At its core, Zaptiva is an agentic-based ETLO solution that delivers enterprise-level orchestration capabilities similar to platforms like Celigo or Workato, but at roughly 60 to 70% less cost. So what makes Zaptiva especially powerful is that it's built for both customers and consultants. For customers, there's no programming required, making automation far more accessible without needing large development teams. For consultants, implementation partners, Zaptiva can support highly customized workflows without requiring additional bolt-on products, creating tremendous flexibility and strong implementation revenue potential. The reason this matters is because most organizations today are overwhelmed by fragmented systems and disconnected data. These teams are stuck doing what we call gray work, manually routing PDFs, spreadsheets, emails, and documents between systems, correcting errors and managing fragile integrations. At the same time, companies want to adopt AI and automation, but they don't want to rip out the ERP systems they already rely on, like QuickBooks, Sage, or NetSuite. That's where Zaptiva changes the conversation. Zaptiva acts as the intelligent nervous system for the digital workforce. Instead of replacing core systems, it becomes the orchestration layer between operational chaos and core systems, and structured business execution. The platform ingests unstructured inputs like PDF emails and spreadsheets, then uses AI narrative orchestration to validate, transform, and route information automatically. It applies business rules and context-aware governance across workflows, reducing the need for constant human intervention. The intervention is still needed at times because AI, we can't rely completely on AI to do everything. It does mess up at times, so we always will need that human touch. But essentially, the result is clean, structured transactions flowing directly into existing ERP systems without bottlenecks or disruptive migrations. And that's really the differentiator. Most automation platforms focus on replacing systems, and Zaptiva focuses on unlocking and modernizing the systems organizations already have. The visuals shown in the document, you can actually see that journey from chaos to control, from fragmented gray work through the bridge where AI orchestration happens, and ultimately into clean, structured transactions feeding the core business systems. Ultimately, Zaptiva helps organizations adopt AI safely, intelligently, and operationally without tearing apart the infrastructure they already depend on every day. And that's the future Zaptiva is building. So if you guys have any questions, we definitely would like to talk to you. Please feel free to reach out, and we'll have some deeper conversations.
Perfect. And same thing here. If you have more questions on Avalara or Zaptiva, feel free to let us know. We have our little poll here. Keep it up for a second. And all of the solutions we showed you today handle all of the categories we discussed. We'll send over a spreadsheet on how they relate to each of the different categories today. And in addition to that, we just wanted to let you know that the Leopard Lounge is going on a city tour, and we'll have some location and dates to come that we'll be sharing with you guys as well.
And I just wanted to ask Avalara, do you guys integrate with all products? Is that correct, Brian?
Yes. Can you hear me?
And Zaptiva? Yes, we can. Thank you for that. Yes, Avalara integrates with all Sage products. And then Zaptiva, Ashley, do you guys also integrate with all the Sage products?
Yes, all the Sage products.
Perfect.
Awesome.
And more. We're not just Sage specific or Sage agnostic. So yeah, basically anything you need, we can make it happen.
HubSpot, NetSuite,
yes, ma'am.
Out there in the cloud, probably.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Tiffany, I'll let you close it out.
Okay, well, thank you everyone for attending. Basically, your journey starts here. So if you want to learn more about any of the solutions we highlighted today, feel free to reach out to us and we'll get you connected. If you answered any of the polls, we'll definitely share that information. But thank you again, and thank you to all of the ISPs who joined us today and highlighted your solutions.